Let's take a look at the units. First of all, if we go to the city screen, the garrison is not one of the things that they give you. I think that that's maybe a mistake. I'd like to have the garrison on screen. But I mentioned in a much earlier playthrough that in Civilization 5, John Schaefer and I guess other members of the development team felt that past versions of Civilization were at a disadvantage because you could put more than one unit on a tile. So it resulted in what they called stacks of doom, where you would be up against an opponent with many units in one square and it would be hard to fight them. And my view of this is that that's exactly how it is in real life, that actual armies will mass troops at their enemy's weakest point, and they'll mass troops at any point that they're trying to defend. In Civilization 5, you're not allowed to do this. You can only have one unit per tile, and so you can't really defend your cities effectively. You can't mass troops for an attack on an enemy, so no aspect of your military strategy is realistic, basically. But let's take a look at how that works. So there's my defending unit. This is how you find your defending unit, your one and only for your city. In this case, I have a helicopter, and interestingly, I'm trying to get a better view of it here. It's actually a Russian Hind. It's not a Huey or something Hollywood might like. I could get a better view of it here because the city label there is in my way. But the point is this: I have all the possibilities for movement. I mean, one of the things that's annoying, if I choose to move this unit, move mode, for one thing, the go-to feature is kind of a requirement. Notice it can't go out to, well, yeah, it can't really go out to sea as easily. Let's see what happens if I do that. See, it embarks as if it were a land unit. And of course, in real life, you use helicopters to take out submarines and things in the ocean. It's actually sharing a square with a naval unit here. That runs somewhat counter to the thinking behind no stacks of doom, because in the ocean you are actually allowed to make an exception. So let's see if I move the ironclad. Move mode. I'll move the ironclad out to sea here. There you can see the cargo ships of the helicopter unit, which arguably is not realistic. Helicopters are not allowed to fly over the ocean. But the embarkation feature, I glossed over that. You don't need cargo ships in Civilization 5. You only need to have the optics advance, unless you're the Polynesian, in which case you always have the embarkation mode. And so the way it works is if you move a land unit, which they count the helicopter as for some bizarre reason, if you move it out to the ocean, it just becomes a cargo ship. And then you're on your way, and you can take your units anywhere in the world, and when you arrive at your destination, you can simply drop them off. Let's see if I can get the helicopter to cooperate with me here. Looks like it's out of moves. So I can go to the next turn, and please wait. Like I said, this engine is a little bit slow. Notice also there are city-states or smaller civilizations in Civilization 5. That's another new feature. They're saying trespassing, and so on, and whatever. If we do the move... What? I didn't want to do that. Do the move. If I take the helicopter over here, That's not a good example. Let's see. Take the helicopter here. Ships go over there, and the helicopter unloads. So there's my hind. And he's out of moves. Now if I want to send the helicopter back to Rome, well, my ironclad is already back at Rome, at the port there. It's one way of getting around the stacks of doom problem, is that I put the ships just offshore there as if they were docked or had laid anchor just offshore. So it says a unit needs orders. I can skip this unit because I want to get to the helicopter there. So I will tell the helicopter to return. Oh, he's out of moves. Okay. Alright, so I would say do nothing. Thought I was on the next turn. Okay, next turn. So the other nations are moving very slowly because, as I said, this game engine is somewhat slow. Then there's some kind of battle there. Doesn't look to be mine, so do I care? I'm not actually playing this. I'm not going to save this, of course. Okay, so the ironclad, I will put it in alert mode so that it will only wake upon seeing an enemy. And now I'll send this helicopter, hind helicopter, home. So, back to Rome. So now the helicopter is back in embarkation mode. Assign delegates. Okay, the UN for the diplomatic model. So enact world leader. Where you have Portugal wants to be the world leader. Okay, so Rome. Assign all my delegates to make me the world leader, and I'm pretty sure I'll fail at this. Now, this is what I want to do. Next turn. The other players move slowly. More battle over here. One other thing that's been pointed out is how crowded everything is, because you can't do stacks of doom. So you can't garrison troops anywhere, so everything is all spread out. It's a chaotic mess. Say, choose production in Antium. Cargo ships, incidentally, you say, well, with embarkation mode, why you need cargo ships? The cargo ships are actually the seaborne equivalent to freights or caravans, actually. I can't actually build a military unit I can actually use either because I don't have any place to put it. So all of these potentially useful units are available but not really practical. So what would I do instead? I think if I build a stadium, that will at least improve my reputation there. We'll have to finish in the next part.